Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I feel like absolute crap today, even worse than I felt yesterday. So, we're going to get through this, though. Um, it's kind of ridiculous, but apparently, someone got their knickers in a twist last night, which I was fast asleep, Mama T, when you decided to go live. FYI. Let's say hello to everyone. Penny Positive Mama of Two, that girl. Hello, Jackie Blue, Graham, Lenny J, Barely Human, Daniel Barry. Hello. There were some other people in here. Mama T was in here earlier. Mama T, I'll drop a link if you want to come up here. Hey, Queen Ashley. So, I'm going to try not to cough in your faces and get all sniffly, and hopefully I don't get out of breath. COPD is a bish, let me tell you. Hello, SR. Mods, as usual, it's an open chat. Just if anyone gets too crazy, just go ahead and get them out. All the little tigers are upset with me. Mom T, I didn't never go back and listen to your live. Like, I got through about 5 minutes of it, honestly. And when I said I always listen to you, it doesn't mean I'm always listening in real time. Sometimes I catch a replay. Hey, Freeside, Platform Boots, Curiosity. So, she got upset. She said that I spewed all kinds of lies yesterday. It would be awesome if she would come up here and chat mano a mano about what these lies were. Because honestly, all I did was give my opinion of some noteworthy things that I saw going on in a few different situations, not just with her. Hey, Tattoos and Unicorns. So, I don't know what it is she thinks that I lied about. I've heard a few things like she was, I guess, implying that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the cyber security stuff. So we're just going to go because I had a list, Mama T. I actually had notes about what I talked about yesterday because I prepare for my lives. I don't just hop on and hope for the best. Hey, Dodie. So what I talked about yesterday was the fact that you privated your two lives, which that's a fact. That's not something I made up. You did say that you made Jenna super upset and you felt bad about it. And what upset Jenna was you had to show her some videos about someone she cared about. You stated that you started as true crime, which honestly, just because you slap a label of true crime on your channel doesn't mean that you're true crime. You claimed that Jimbo and Nicolina are working together, and that's just false. I mean, I don't know where you're pulling that information from, but that's not true. You said you had a 15-minute conversation with a guy, some stranger who does cyber stuff, and he explained all about the different levels of trolls and stuff. And yeah, there is a technical term for, the internet, and they're called trolls. But I got news for you. Cybersecurity doesn't handle trolls on YouTube. But we'll get into a little bit about that. Maybe I'll make up a lie about it. We talked about the fact that you said people reach out to you and ask for help because you're loud and you don't stop. Well, an observation I've made is how do you think, let me see how to put this. You say you don't stop, but then in the next breath, you're squawking about how you're for the victims and you speak up for all these people and blah, blah, blah. Well, just like you and a lot of other people in your chat, I am a survivor of some pretty traumatic stuff too. So, wouldn't your time be better spent actually being a voice and bringing awareness to different scenarios that people survive? Wouldn't it be better spent being a voice for the indigenous women that you're supposed to be covering? Do you not feel like you let some of your subscribers down or some of your viewers when they come to your channel? Because I've seen people in your chat that say they haven't been there for a while, or they thought you were moving in a different direction, and stuff like that. So does it not bother you that maybe they feel a little let down because you're not following through with the intention of your channel according to you? That was my only point. And that's really not a fact or a falsehood. It's just an opinion. Let's see. I talked about the way, when Ernie lies about things he's done, like working in mines and stuff like that, you say it's a joke. And so I raised the question of, well, how come when he does it, it's just a joke, or he has to lie because people stalk, bully, and harass him and stuff like that? Wouldn't it be better to just not talk about where you supposedly work? You don't have to lie about it. You make a choice to lie about where you're working when you don't have to. You can just not mention it at all. You don't have to initiate the lie by purposely posting a picture of a guy in a lab who just happens to be like a famous um, engineer and scientist who actually worked for NASA, and try to pass it off and claim that it's you, and then tell your viewers we've got big things coming. See, there's a difference in just being an employee of McDonald's and saying that you work at Burger King because you don't really want anyone to know where you work, than there is of creating this whole elaborate lie and putting pictures out and swearing up and down it's you when nobody even asked. But you backed it up 100%. Again, I didn't lie about that. I made an observation. We've all seen it happen. So I don't know where you're getting the lie from. We talked about you constantly whining day after day about Jimbo and Kemper bringing Nicolina to YouTube. We talked about why, after all this time, you're still so hell bent on turning everyone away from Jimbo. Like it's a big project for you, and it's just odd. We talked about you using drama with the stand to stay relevant, and I raised the question yet again, what about those cases and the new direction you're going to be going in? What about that Warrior Wednesday you haven't followed through with? So now I'm going to explain the difference between inserting yourself and just commenting or talking about something you've witnessed. The difference between me and you is I don't constantly beckon or demand people hop on my panel because I feel like they owe me an explanation for anything. Nobody owes me an explanation for shit. You don't owe me an explanation for anything, but it sure would be a lot easier for me to try to understand how your mind works and where you're coming from when you come up with all this crazy shit you talk about. You're out here basically telling people, watch for these trolls. You got to know what to look for and blah, 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 blah. And all these people, you'll see what's going to happen. You'll see. It's not some big ass conspiracy. I don't know why you can't get that through your head. Nobody that is in my little immediate circle has any kind of super secret behind the scenes stuff going on to do anything to anybody. And if you think that's what everyone's doing, you're sadly mistaken. Now, let's move on to the fact that I got pissed off because you blocked me. Hell to the no, I didn't get pissed off. You know why I didn't get pissed off? Because if you remember, I actually told you, you better block me. You better block me because I'm going to keep coming back and challenging you in the chat. And y'all hate that. Hang on one second. Okay. So I didn't get mad that you blocked me. I told you you should. In fact, I told you you better block all my accounts forever, ever. Hello to everyone just coming in. So yeah, it was ridiculous that you got on there at midnight my time, thinking that I was actually just going to be sitting there chomping at the bit to hop on your panel. I also told you that ship has sailed. I will never go on your panel. Not because I'm afraid or I don't want to face you. It's because, and I told you this, your chat and your mods are assholes sometimes. The day I was in your chat and I told you better block me, I had pointed out the fact that you said you've never heard Ernie call anyone names. And I was like, well, he just called River a crack whore that morning. And all you did was try to justify it. Then you said that someone's always respectful, and not 2 seconds later, they told me to shut the fuck up. And I was like, you think that's respectful? What did you do? Did you say, look, be respectful in my chat? No, you didn't. You tried to justify that too. So, no, I'm not going on your panel because it would be a pointless endeavor. Because you get all your little tiger friends all in a huffy, and you can't have a logical conversation with you. There's just no point. What, birds of prey? What's a BS excuse? Exactly, Graham. If you're never challenged or have an open discussion, it becomes an echo chamber. And that's what they don't like. They don't like that I question things or I have a different opinion or a different perspective. If you're not over on the side of something, sometimes you don't always see things for what they are. You don't know the whole story. So you come up with an assumption, and sometimes it's wrong. And Mama T, I don't simp for anybody. How often do you see me out here simping for anyone? No, you don't get blocked for having a different opinion in here. I was just asking what you thought was a BS excuse. I don't really block people over here, birds of prey. You have to do something pretty bad or just be annoying like Rapper was yesterday. Let's see. Okay, in the few minutes of your live I listened to, you went off about your job. The only reason your job was brought up is because someone in the chat asked if you had ever gotten one. Not talking about the job you had before you relocated. Yes, I know you had a job then. I saw all of that play out. They asked if you have gotten a job since you moved to a new place. And I said, I don't know. I don't think so because you're online a couple of times a day. If you're not on your channel, you're on someone else's panel. A lot of accusations that I put my bias into it. Such as, I haven't made any accusations other than giving my opinion of what something looks like from my point of view. That's why it's important for people to be able to have open conversations, because if I'm wrong about something, then they need to be able to explain that to me. But not doing this petty back and forth bullshit where someone's in the middle of the night saying, "Come on, take a link. Don't sing it, ring it. Don't talk about it, be about it." You know how fucking stupid that sounds at almost 50 years old? So that was the only reason your job was talked about yesterday. I hope you have a job. More power to you. I hope you excel and do wonderful at it. Okay. We already talked about you not following through and actually helping people. Um, Jumping in the middle of people's relationships, like with, yes, Birds of Prey, I agree. And I invited Mama T to come on my panel and talk to me more than once. She wouldn't come on my, let's say I invited her to come on a Tuesday. She wouldn't come on my panel that Tuesday, but I saw her go on 3 other ones. I assured her that nobody in my chat and nobody over here would be able to be allowed to treat her with disrespect, and that I would make sure that she was taken care of over here so we could have a decent conversation. She didn't want to do that. Instead made some smart ass comment like she would never grace my panel with her presence. Well, I'm not going to go over there where she lets people act like a bunch of assholes towards me, or for her to not like something I say and in a huffy boot me off the panel. It's ridiculous. And someone in the comments today, like I had said, I talked about Mama T for like 5 minutes. First of all, Mama T, that thing I played at the beginning of my live was not me. And it took about 4 people telling you that it was not me before you finally got it. Now, when you thought it was me, I just said, Birds of Prey, why I don't go on her panel, because I go over there, and anytime I even ask a question or correct something in the chat, I got 5 different people jumping on me. And Mama T seems to have an attitude when she's over there and has all these people in her corner. I mean, it is what it is. Probably a month ago, I would have gone on her panel, but not now. I invited her to come over here and do it, and she declined more than once. So that tells me she doesn't want to have a conversation. Sometimes she has to cave and not try to have control over every situation. I invited her to come here because I know that no one's going to treat her poorly. Ugh. Yeah, I don't. A lot of people think that Vanessa is Jayla. I don't know. I've never had anything against Vanessa per se. I've never really had a reason to. But I'm assuming that she hopped up on panel and had a lot of shit to say too last night. Lily. I mean, sometimes you got to just accept things for what they are. And it's like, if you even question or speak against anything that Ernie says and does, then that's it. You know, you're labeled a monster, and how dare you, and you must be involved in something, and just wait and see. People are tired of the just wait and see. Nothing's going to happen. Nobody is out here doing all the mischievous stuff that you think that they're doing. Have people been assholes to other people? Absolutely. Have people trolled other people? Absolutely. Have people done some things that maybe I wouldn't necessarily do myself to someone else? Absolutely. But this brings us into the whole cybersecurity thing. See, I'm not a dumbass, Mama T. I have a lot of student debt right now for a reason. I don't know what guy told you about this whole paid troll thing. Are there people that pay others to do their dirty work? Mm-hmm. There are. Um, what have I condoned? Birds of Prey, I'll drop a link for you in a little bit if you want to come up. Um, okay, so yeah, there are people that are like, hey, I'll give you $20 if you go irritate the crap out of someone in their chat. I'm sure it happens. Have I seen it happen? Mm-mm. I don't get involved in all that bullshit. Very rarely do I actually go troll anyone under any account that's not my own. Because I have a lot of friends in all these chats. So, of course, I'm just going to go in as myself. What's the point? Do I have a couple of alt accounts? Yeah, I do. For the places that I'm blocked in, but that's not too many places. So, when it comes to cybersecurity, the word security alone tells you a lot. The role of a cyber specialist, they analyze a company's assets. They look at like what a company's worth, what data and records they have on their computer systems, and they analyze potential threats. Is it like with retail? Is there a high risk of someone hacking and compromising all your customer base personal information? They look at all those situations. They look at the vulnerabilities to the assets, and they diagnose security threats and come up with a plan, a program, or a protocol to help combat some of those threats. Um, they identify controls, policies, and procedures to help a company improve their security methods. They do things like that. Like security is the whole gist of it. Now, there are different tiers of cybersecurity specialists. You have someone who does the monitoring. You have someone that does the directing. You have someone that does the containing of the threats. Then you have someone that comes in and fixes the threats. When it comes to cybersecurity for social media, the things that they're looking for are not your little YouTube trolls who make an account with your picture or some bullshit like that. They're looking for people like the sex bots that used to be in the chats all the time. They're looking for things like that because those things are actually phishing tools. They use those to get people's personal information. It can contain links. There was things like, I don't know if you remember the COVID trackers that were rolling out when, oh gosh, I'm not supposed to say that word, huh? Well, when the C first started really taking hold and everyone was freaking out, a lot of places you would get ads for these trackers. A lot of these internet ads that pop up, they have these things that are too good to be true, or like these get $5,600 today and all of that. Most of those are like phishing things where once you click on them, they reel you in to try to get your personal information, or they have links that will install malware on your computer or your device. That's what cybersecurity does in the social media realm. Okay, birds of prey, you can chill out. What you're doing right now is exactly the shit that I wouldn't let happen to Mama T if she were to come over here. So I don't know what 15-minute conversation you had with this stranger, but I feel, it is my opinion, that it's probably time to just move on from all this crap, you know? Nobody's bothering you anymore. Nobody's really bothering Ernie anymore. Nobody really cares anymore. But you're keeping it going by playing this video about, oh, he's just constantly stalked, bullied, and harassed. We all saw what happened over the past 2 years. You're not telling us anything new. And just because someone doesn't like you doesn't mean that they're involved in all this sneaky, crazy internet stuff. People will say things like that because they know you're going to latch onto it and run with it. Just like yesterday, you were so convinced that you were right, that it was me talking about that documentary, and you had a lot to say about it. You had a lot of shit to talk when you thought it was me. But when you finally realized it was Atil, you were just like, why do we need an email, girl? I mean, come on. I even flat out said, so that was Atil. It's just ridiculous. Yes, most of the videos about Ernie were put on social media by Ernie. None of us would know about half of the stuff if he didn't bring it here. You can't bring crazy stuff out and expect people to not have something to say about it. Sorry, you guys, I'm like coughing like crazy. So, Mama T, you're more than welcome to hop up here and we can have a little one-on-one chat. Or, Mama T, you can come up and tell me, a little bit more about what else you had to say last night. Oh, Birds of Prey, that's his last channel. Oh, who cares? Ernie, if Birds of Prey is you, you could have come in here under your regular name. But, Mama T, you gotta admit that you do like to stir up crap with people. You know you do. I'm not out here like trying to win people over to any particular side. I don't care. I'm perfectly content riding solo. I'm more the let people figure stuff out on their own kind of thing. Within reason. Now, if there's like someone that I know is just a flat out dangerous person, then yeah, I'm probably going to warn someone. The stuff I talked about yesterday, I think someone in your chat said that I had talked about like 6 people. No, I only talked about ATIL. Oh, Ernie just messaged me. And I talked about Mama T for a few minutes. And I talked about the stuff going on with Tiffany Marie. And then I talked about the video I saw about Pam and Allie. And how, although I agreed with some of the points made, I didn't agree with the delivery. I keep that shit on my own channel. I don't go from panel to panel spouting my opinions everywhere. I keep it in my own little neck of the woods, which is the way you should do it sometimes. Okay, Ernie, you don't want anything to do with YouTube. I get it. Yeah, she does start things up. Beth, every once in a while I pull out the old voice changer. When I did hear her say, "Your voice sounds an awful lot like someone else's," and I thought, oh gosh, here we go. Here we go. Now she's going to say that I'm a different person and going under different names. Man, I feel like garbage today. Yeah, voice changer. A couple of years ago, I was like playing around with one of those little voice changer apps, and it was funny. Right, Trixie? And if he doesn't want anything to do with YouTube, then that's great. I feel like that's a wise decision. Break away from the shit that's causing you turmoil, and move on to bigger and better things. I've always told him I don't wish him any ill will. I wish him all the best. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything he says or does. It's just ridiculous. The nerve of trying to call someone up on your panel just to talk shit to them at midnight. I don't know. I was going to try to stay on a little longer, you guys, but I just do not feel good at all. And if she's not going to come up here and talk about anything, then she can just make another live and talk her crap about me over there. And the sad thing is this total bitchy person that she thinks I am, I actually offered her more help than anyone else. Yes, Lily. She came in to laugh about me using her words in the title. She came in and said something like, "Why are you stealing my words, Chasing? Can't come up with any of your own?" Like, what? Are we 12? I think it's a funny saying. Mama T, every time you say "don't sing it, bring it," I giggle a little. Then she deleted it. I don't think that I sound anything like ATIL. I really don't. A lot of people have told me that I sound a lot like Catelyn. Lily said it. Lily told me I sound like Catelyn. One day I'll get Catelyn on a panel and we can both say a phrase or a sentence and everyone can try to guess which one of us it is. Hell yeah, I'm going to Dorinda myself. I don't care that I have 101 fever. I'm not street smart. No, I'm not street smart. Shit. I was young once too. I had some wild days too. Well, thank you, Holler for $1. Well, while I have everyone here, I just want to remind everyone that I did put a community post up about the GoFundMe to help Andrew and his 2 daughters. Single father, mom abandoned. him and the girls a couple of years ago. He is working. He's able to keep a roof over their heads, but doesn't leave much for anything else. So for the next month, every dollar I receive on Cash App, I am sending to the GoFundMe that was set up for him. The link for the GoFundMe is on my community page. You can either go directly there and donate, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can send it to me, and I will make the donation immediately after I receive the money. I had 2 donations come in yesterday, and I did post the receipts for both of those. I will be posting receipts at the end of every day. But you guys, I feel like I'm about to die. So I'm probably going to go ahead and end. I really said all I had to say. She can keep this back and forth going. I'll play as long as she wants to. Or she can suck it up, Buttercup, and come on over here and have a chat. But Monty, I will never go on your panel. I will not go on your panel because you do not have control. You are very biased in the way you allow your mods to act. You don't have any set rules. You say one thing and then you do another, and then you justify whatever it is in that moment. I am going to go rest, Trixie. I had already scheduled this live right when I woke up this morning because I woke up before my alarm went off because I couldn't breathe. And I saw that she had been talking about me. So I listened to a few minutes as I was waking up, and I scheduled the live, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to cancel it. But I'm going to let you guys go and then be rested up, because Friday on my other channel, we're going to do the second part of Crystal Rogers' case. And keep going with that. But I appreciate all of you being here. Make sure you hug your loved ones. You never know tomorrow is going to come, and be kind. Set a goal to put a smile on at least one person's face a day, and then you've done something good in the world. I will talk to all of you on Friday, and everyone have a safe and wonderful evening. See you guys soon.